Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? Merry Christmas. I know it's basically day after Christmas, but um, I've been with my family, my mom and dad, and my brother and his wife and their kids, and many other siblings that are not able to that were not able to come. Of course, they had a good time as well, but my family's scattered all over the place. So, of course, I'm here at my parents' home, a little bit south of. This is kind of west of Tacoma a little bit, University Place, but basically, had a few thoughts here. Um, I'll make this video not too long, of course. So I was watching some stuff with my dad, and how can I put this? We were trying to. Again, my parents have Netflix, and they were trying to find something that was maybe it might be fun to watch, a series, and we tried The Watcher. Not The Watcher. I'm sorry. I meant The Witcher, right? So The Witcher, like TV series on Netflix. Now, apparently, I know there's at least 3 different video games that have come out with this title, and this particular movie was definitely along those lines. And most people that have played The Witcher, a lot of people that have played The Witcher, said, "Oh my gosh, this is the most amazing movie, most amazing video game ever!" Right? Most amazing video game, just amazing, whatever. You know, this just confirms my feeling about. Yeah. I'm trying to. I've mentioned many things like this before in other videos. I really have. I've just talked about this subject quite a bit in the past. Quite a bit. Fantasy adventure, whether talking about fantasy adventure, um, high quality fantasy adventure, movies and books and video games, I think that are really worth something, or are more artistically excellent, more meaningful, right? They're not really so. They're still very. Video games don't really. Most of them don't really. How can I put this? They don't. It's just a lot of juvenile nonsense still. Video games is the best way of putting it. And when you take a video game and you translate it into a movie, maybe to be more specific here, we're talking about having a video game that's really tough guy and cold, merciless world, right? Merciless world, that kind of thing. Just fend for yourself. Bad things happen. Just very. You see this thread with not just The Witcher, but so many other supposedly fantasy movies. You even saw it with Riddick, and as much as I loved Riddick, I really did like Riddick, Chronicles of Riddick, and all that stuff. Same thing, bad stuff happens to people. You just gotta deal with it. And you have evil that occurs in the world, it happens. Just learn from it. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The Elder Scrolls, all the killing and all the, just gotta get tougher and bigger and stronger and better weapons and hack someone's arms off before they hack yours arms off and you get robbed. The whole tone of so much fantasy these days is kind of more like very brutal, unfeeling action adventure with some dragons thrown in. It is not high art. It is not as meaningful. You can only get so much out of it, and with every passing year in media, in fantasy, you see a dumbing down of fantasy in media. It's the same deal in many other genres as well. To some extent or another, you see it in sci-fi, you see it in scary stuff, horror, you see it in, some things are still decent, right? There's still some decent movies being made, but so I just was like, man. And of course it's Netflix, right? I quit Netflix a long time ago. Long while back. But they're, it's just like real fantasy is where you have even despite subgenres and stuff, real fantasy it draws you in because of the richness of the world and because of the themes of a good story. I mean, they're oftentimes our fears and loves and questions and things. A good story, fantasy or not fantasy, addresses these kinds of things. And when a video game or story doesn't have that stuff, doesn't have very meaningful themes, The Witcher supposedly is great because it has great graphics and has great gameplay and has a great story. Okay, yeah. Still as cold-hearted as heck. Why would I want to play a video game where I become more cold-hearted? Because that's the way it is. Or why would anybody, cold-hearted meaning merciless, not having mercy. That's a pretty big deal. Like, do people believe that, increasingly these days that, just go ahead and think about yourself. Don't think about other people. It's, you guys leave me thoughts and comments below about this. This is a big thing. This is not just one. You see this across the board with the media. There's something else I was going to mention too. What was it? Oh boy. Well, as mentioned before, I'm going to be trying to spend less money on food, but I'm going to still try to keep my health up. And I've talked to my brother about nutrition and things, and maybe making more brown rice, as opposed to potatoes. I don't know. Everything I was watching on YouTube with nutrition seemed to emphasize potatoes so much. But maybe I'll give brown rice a go again, a little bit more. But we'll talk about that more in the future, I suppose. It's been really good to visit with my family. Really, really good. I can't. If there's anything, it just is very important for me to spend time with my family, and it's just been wonderful, just great. And yes, I had to put up with some crying babies and stuff, younger kids, and all that stuff. And it's not easy, but you miss them when they're gone, So, I wish I could tell you the name of the Netflix thing that my parents are watching. That was actually pretty good, but it's just frustrating and disheartening I love a good conspiracy thriller type thing. I love it. I love all the thrillers out there, the Omniscient stuff, and all the other stuff. It's more realistic or more office buildings, and that's fine. Whatever, that's fine. It's just disheartening when you can't find stuff in both sci-fi and fantasy that has a similar quality of writing. That's the best way of putting it, I think. And I never went for the Game of Thrones. I never watched that stuff because it was just not really all that different from The Witcher in some respects. This brutal world of people trying to take advantage of other people in regard to more realistic historical Europe, right? But there's that kind of crossover with fantasy, of course, because you talk about medieval Europe. You also talk about on some level it's a crossover with medieval fantasy. Anyway, yeah, I never saw the Game of Thrones. I just was encouraged to somewhat, but nah, nope. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video. You guys leave me thoughts and comments below. Catch you guys later. Have a good Merry Christmas. And talk to you soon. Bye.